Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the 100K overview. So, on this video is going to be summarizing what we did, what was the course of action we took, how was the first 10K, what did we do, how did we hit each milestone, what were we primarily focused on. So, we're basically going to run through all that. This video, just so you guys know, does not cover how. All the other videos cover how. This is simply the overview. I recommend you watch this so it all makes sense. And basically, you can really see how exactly we planned this, how we went from 0 to 10K, what our strategies were. But that is basically what this video is, the entire overview. And then everything else beneath this is all how we did it, how you can do it, and the step-by-step of everything. So basically, when we first start off on this 0 to 100K journey, I mean, obviously our first thing, and the first thing that you guys are need to do, and maybe if you guys already have content, that's great, you're ahead of the game. If you don't, the first thing we need to do is to create content. So we've had this in mind, for quite a while, maybe 2 or 3 months in advance. So I started accumulating content, did a little bit of traveling, got some content. That doesn't mean you need to travel for your content. If you're a fashion person, you don't really need to go travel to another country. For the content that I want to take, I want to really use my Instagram to get free hotel stays and do stuff like that. I'm trying to break into the travel space a bit. So for me, it made sense to just kind of use, some travel influencer style content. But the first thing is that you need to have content. And listen, guys, I know this sounds cliche. Every single person always talks about this, but listen, without content, the page wouldn't have grown. And we decided to do a mix of viral and personal content. The reason for that is because we can reach more people that way. If you guys look at the page, the viral content does way better than the personal content. Why? Because it's simply viral content, and that's all there really is to it. Your own content can get that same type of engagement. However, I'm not going to lie to myself. I know my content isn't the best. I know I'm not the best photographer. And when I travel, I don't have, a photographer with me at all times. So based on my circumstances, and what you guys are going to learn here is Instagram is really based off of your needs. What I did for my content strategy isn't necessarily what you need to do. There's certain strategies you need to follow, but for the overall flow of your page and how you want things to run, it's very, there's options. You do have options. If you don't want to mix viral content on your page, you don't have to. The reason I did, again, is because for one, I don't have an extreme abundance of content. For two, I know my content isn't the best. And for three, I know that for within my niche, that me mixing viral content with my own content is actually good. And if we look at some people, let's go to Instagram right now really quick, actually, while we're doing this overview video, and let's see what one of the top marketers, right? If any of you guys are trying to grow in the business niche or anything like that, basically the type of niche that I'm in, even some of the top marketers go ahead and they use this stuff. Tai Lopez, for example, mixes in viral content all the time. And the way that you do that is by going ahead and leaving your opinion on it. Instagram here isn't going to load for me. But anyways, guys, if you go and check out Tai Lopez's Instagram, you guys will see that he mixes in viral content all the time. If you guys look at somebody like Cody Sperber, mixes in viral content all the time. And you can do it on your page too, whether you're in the same niche as me or you're in a different niche than me. Mixing in that viral content will help. So that's why we did that. But again, everything's up to you as far as how your content is. Just make sure your content is good. That's the biggest thing. So once we had content solved, we basically started chucking down this 100K into milestones, right? So we solved content, and now we're like, okay, well, now the content's out of the way, we need to really chunk this thing down. So there's a few milestones that need to be hit. First off, there's 25K, right? That is like the first milestone. There's also a mini milestone, right? We could also, let's start off with like a more mini milestone, because there's also, you have basically 10K here, right? Let's add this K. So you have 10K, and then the next one will probably be, you could go 25K or you can do 50K, but I would say 25K, 10K to 25K is almost the same thing. So you have 10K, you have 25K, you have 50. Let's see. You have 75. And then, of course, you have 100. Right? So these are all the milestones that you basically have. So we strategically went ahead and chunked down this entire project into, okay, well, if we want to get to 100K, the first step we need to do is we need to gain the first 10K. How are we going to do that? Then, how are we going to gain to 25K? How are we going to gain to 50K? And basically what we did is we asked ourselves these exact questions. These exact questions that I'm saying now is the questions we asked ourselves, and that is how we started to devise the plan. That is how we started to, ask ourselves the critical questions of, okay, and then how fast do we need to do this? How fast should we get the first 10K? How fast should we get to the 50K? Where's going to be our slow period? What happens if things do start slowing down? So let's go over how we did the first 0 to about 15K, 10K/15K. Okay. Now, so from 0 to 15K, we'll just do 0 to 15K. That's what we'll do, because that's about what we did. We knew we needed to go fast, right? This milestone, we know 100% that we needed to go fast because this had to be done in 30 days, okay? So what we did is we did some giveaways, right? I think one of the best ways that me and Leo both agree on, one of the best ways to go ahead and grow an account is to go ahead and start off with giveaways. One, you get massive amounts of traffic to your page. Two, you save a ton of money because since you're running in giveaways, they are cheaper. You're not getting as targeted followers, but you can turn those followers targeted. And for three, again, you're getting a ton of traffic. The followers are targeted. And honestly, there's one last point that I was trying to make here, but it's slipping my mind right now. But anyways, that's besides the point. So what we did, we decided to do a mix, right? Obviously, when you're running a giveaway, and you guys will learn this. If you guys are, if you're not understanding anything I'm saying right now, don't worry, because all of this is covered in the trainings below. Again, this is just the overview. But what we did was giveaways, right? And we mixed mass giveaways with niche giveaways, right? Now, normally niche giveaways are a go, and normally mass giveaways are a no. But sometimes mass giveaways can be a go. Okay, so what we did, and if you don't know, mass giveaways is giving something away to the masses, right? It's like giving away an iPhone. The pro, it's very cheap. You gain a lot of followers. The con, the followers aren't very targeted. A lot of people come just for the iPhone. When you do a niche giveaway, like right here, when you do a niche giveaway, you're not the pro, you're gaining targeted followers. These people are likely to buy. The con, you're not gaining as many. So it really depends. Now, if this wasn't a challenge, if we weren't trying to get to 100K in 30 days, and it was more like trying to get to 100K in 90 days, and we had a bigger budget, I would have went all with niche. All with niche. You know why? Because I wouldn't be worried about speed. I'd be worried about like super quality. But since we put a challenge behind it, when we tried to do it in 30 days, we were forced to incorporate mass. So what we did for the first 0 to 15K is we said, hey, you know what? Let's incorporate a mass giveaway. So we give away an iPhone, we give away some money, and let's do some niche giveaways. I give away some Instagram training, I give away an ebook, I give away some stuff like that. And that is how we got to the first 0 to 15K followers. And that momentum basically went ahead and propelled us up to 25K. That is basically what happened. We kept running our niche giveaways after 15K was hit, and then that propelled us up to about 25,000 followers. And again, now you might be saying, well, okay, Anthony, well, so now you have a ton of mass followers on your page. You gave away mass giveaways. You have a ton of untargeted followers, right? True. We did gain, probably about, out of this 15K, I would say probably about 12,000 of those were, untargeted followers. Now, here is what I did to combat that. If you guys go and you take a look at the Red Pill Success Instagram, you will see a Who I Am pinned story. What I did was the second we started running the campaigns on October 7th, I made that Who I Am story, and once we hit 10K, I could have the swipe up feature, and I welcomed all the new followers. I got on my story, I did a face-to-face, I said, hey, what's going on? And straight up what I did was I just said who I am. I went into what I do, and what this did was two things. What this did is it got my followers from knowing, not knowing anything about me, following me for an iPhone, to knowing who I am. And here's the two things that happened when I did the Who I Am story. One, I turned my followers from strangers into knowing who I am. And because of that, some people actually turned into leads. People started DMing me. People liked me for who I was. Two, there were a ton of people who also didn't like me. A ton of people who unfollowed, who weren't interested. This is good. By doing that, I literally got ahead. I got a good good bang for my buck by doing a mass giveaway, and I was able to go ahead and get everybody who was not interested at all to unfollow me, and everybody who was interested to stick around for a really good price. Because again, we only had a $2,000 budget. We're going to tell you guys where to best spend your money and everything like that. But that is really what we used to get to 0 to 15K, and that basically floated us up to 25K. Because I think we did like 20K, and man, I don't know, like maybe like 4 days or so. So that was what we really used to really propel us up, and we basically leveraged off that momentum. Because shortly after, while we were running those giveaways, we also used viral content. So a little bit of viral content, a post going viral content was helping us to get to 25K, right? Now, in the middle of all this, right now we're at 25K. So what's our next milestone? Our next milestone that we have to get to, right, is going up to, we have to get from 25K. Sorry, guys, I have an alarm. Let me just shut this off. We have to basically get from 25K up to 50K. That is the next milestone. That's a really bad 5. You know, let's just undo that real quick because that looks really terrible. So, guys, I'm not the best drawer if you haven't noticed. So 50K. That was the next goal. So now it's like, okay, like how do we get from 25K to 50K? We don't want to keep running mass giveaways because we don't want to just keep getting untargeted followers. So what do we do? And this is where Leo's influencer architect strategy really comes into play. But before we get into that, the biggest thing we did was we used, off viral content, we were able to get posts onto hashtags. Some hashtags were getting like, up to, 15,000 impressions on some of these just through hashtags alone, just through using hashtags. So we did hashtag research, HR, hashtag research with social info. And because of that, we were able to get tons of hashtags, do really in-depth research and really pick the best ones. So hashtag research with social info, and that was used throughout, right? That was used from 0 to 15K, and that will be used all the way throughout the duration of this entire challenge. Hashtag research and using hashtags helped us to go ahead and rank not only my personal content, but our viral content as well. Now, what we also did was giveaways on almost every single post, especially posts with me to incite engagement. So this comes into another thing right here where giveaways, right? The second we hit 25K, we're like, all right, we need to start doing giveaways. What do we give away? Stuff that costs us nothing. Since we have a limited budget, we're like, okay, what can we give away that isn't going to cost us much money? And then we said, well, wait, what can we give away that won't cost us any money at all? Well, hey, I can give away shout outs, right? And then you know what else I give away? In my bio, I also give away my free Red Pill training, which is just my ebook. So now we're constantly giving stuff away, constantly getting people to go ahead and follow. And guess what? Since we're running niche giveaways, we're getting people to follow, but we're also getting people who are super interested in my stuff. We're getting targeted followers through running giveaways. A lot of people think you can only run giveaways and get untargeted, but with this method, you run the giveaways and you get very, very targeted followers. So that's what we started doing. We started running the giveaways, and we were using Leo's influencer architect strategy, which basically, if you guys know anything about shoutouts, a lot of people just take a post, take a picture of themselves and have an influencer repost it. You guys are gonna learn everything about the influencer architect strategy, how to create ad sets, but we started using the influencer architect strategy. And I know this is kind of looking like really complicated right now. You guys are probably like, what the heck's going on? IA is influencer architect. And that was really used from the 25K all the way through for like super, super explosive growth, right? So all that is basically what got us propelled to 50K. We started utilizing Leo's influencer architect strategy. We're doing giveaways on everything and doing hashtag research, right? So now the next goal is basically to go from 50K, and we had to get up to, let's go back to purple here. So now we had to go from 50K to 75K, right? And time's running out at this point. We did this at the half mile mark. So just to give you guys context, 16 day was hit right here. 50K was hit on day 16. So we were like a day late on this. So now things are really going ahead and they're getting tight, right? Everything's getting tight. And we're like, how do we get up to 75K? And really, guys, honestly, 50K to 75K wasn't anything special. It was really the same stuff we were doing. We were still using hashtag research. We're still doing all of that all throughout this. And we were still using the influencer architect strategy. Now, the main thing that we were doing is we were doing a ton of research on selecting influencers, right? So selecting influencers, we had to do a ton of research on, and then basically what we're doing ad style shout outs. So shout outs right here. shouts. Shoutouts is what really helped us from 55K above 75K. Shoutouts helped us get all the way up to 100K, which we'll talk about here in a second. But shoutouts with the influencer architect strategy, you can't just be running shoutouts that are just with, your picture. You have to turn your picture into an ad set, and that's what we did. So by combining our pictures into an ad set, and then we're giving giveaways on the content once people come over, they're incentivized to follow, and we're still getting very targeted followers, and we're turning these followers into leads. We were able to go ahead and propel from 50K up to 75K. Again, mainly the influencer architect strategy, and all this stuff in the back end right here, all this other stuff here, all these things we already listed, those are also still going. Everything listed is always also still going as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm sorry guys, this alarm keeps going off. I got it off now for sure though. The other thing that we were using this whole time was we were using a few fan pages. So if we go right here, fan pages. Just a few, not a ton. We weren't running 100 fan pages, but it was just to set the tone. We knew with those fan pages, we would gain a certain amount of followers per day, no matter what. And these fan pages also went, the whole duration of this, from 0 to 100K, the fan pages were always running. We're going to show you guys exactly how to set up your fan pages. So now we get into the interesting thing where we were going from 75K. Let's move this over here a bit. Whoops. Ooh, gotta zoom in this a little bit more. So remove this here. So where we're going from 75K, we're going up to the gray. Let's make this green. The 100K that we hit. Right now. When we're at the 75K mark, we knew things were slowing down quite a bit, and we knew it was really getting close. We ran another giveaway. We ran another iPhone giveaway to go ahead and gain some of the mass followers to really increase the budget. We realized that with our budget, if we ran strictly shoutouts, we weren't going to hit the target. So we had to go ahead and we did another giveaway with an iPhone that gained us about 10K. And then what we did, so we did this giveaway and it gained us 10K. And we used that giveaway to catapult us. While we were running that giveaway, we made a post with a really good piece of viral content. And what happened was that piece of viral content went pretty viral, got about 100-something thousand impressions, and since that post was incentivizing people to follow us, it was giving something away, it was giving away a free shout out, and all they had to do was follow me. That basically, this giveaway propelled this post to go ahead and hit the explore page. We also shouted out on the story, and that helped to really speed things up, and then that momentum right there is what really drove us to hitting this 100K mark, using all that momentum. So this looks like a mess. I know it was looking pretty good at first, but this is basically the entire overview of how it was hit. We used some fan pages to go ahead and set the base tone. Hashtag research all the way throughout. Again, this hashtag research goes all the way throughout. And using all these strategies to go ahead and get us. And again, guys, the main reason, right? Whether you're running giveaways or shoutouts or anything, it's doing everything right? It's doing every single aspect of this correctly, the right way, the professional way. But the main thing here is using momentum, leveraging off of the momentum that we created. If we did not leverage off the momentum we created, if we didn't leverage, for example, we ran this giveaway and we gained 10K. But guess what? If we didn't use that giveaway to also help us get this post viral here, we might have hit 100K a day late. We might not have hit 100K at all. So it's leveraging certain things. When you know you're going to be running shoutouts, guess what? Make a post because you're getting traffic back and that'll hit the explore page. Use your stories in a certain way. Using your pin stories to not only, not only just use your stories just to use them, just to get content out, but use them to actually get people from strangers to buyers, right? And we did have people unfollowing us, which is good. During this, people who were untargeted were unfollowing us because I have my pin story set up in a certain way that got them to like, know, and trust me, or basically not like me, unfollow me, want nothing to do with me, which is perfect. Ultimately, you want people to unfollow you if they are not going to like your stuff. That is your goal. Your goal is to find people who are interested in the topic that you are talking about or that you are growing in. You want to retain them, but the people who really don't care, you want them to unfollow you. You want your ghost followers to unfollow you. So that was what we did. By doing those pin stories, we were able to run the mass giveaways, but weed out the people who really didn't care about me and keep the people who found me interesting afterward. And using all this is how we use all these strategies and momentum to gain us right up to 100K right there. So guys, that is the overview. That is basically in a nutshell what we did at each stage, how we catapulted off giveaways and off shoutouts and off influencer architect strategy to get to the 100,000 follower mark in 30 days. And with that said, guys, yeah, so this is the overview, and now the rest of the course is going to be going over how to do all of this, so you guys could replicate this for yourselves. Again, we tried to do this in 30 days, right? If you guys don't want to run mass giveaways, iPhone giveaways, guess what? I recommend that you don't, right? If there's really no rush. The only reason we did a 30-day challenge is because we want to do something. We wanted to test ourselves, but guess what? If we didn't do iPhone giveaways and stuff like that to really help us gain like an extra 10, 20,000 followers, then the account, yeah, it wouldn't have been hit at 100K, but we have a much more valuable account. So listen, if your goal is speed, go ahead and utilize mass giveaways and everything like that. If your goal is targeted, don't utilize the mass giveaways, just do the niche giveaways. All I'm trying to say here is that we're going to give you the exact strategy that we used. Use the parts that you like. Don't use the parts that you don't like, all right? There is no one way to do this. Everybody's account is different. This is the blueprint for what we did. You can apply it. You can get the same exact results. But again, use your judgment, your content. You don't have to mix viral content if you don't want. You don't have to run mass giveaways if you don't want to. You don't have to do hashtag research if you don't want to. But this is exactly what we did to get the desired result. With that said, guys, I will see you all on the upcoming videos.